Okay, there has been so much going on within the world of gaming as far as news is related. Hell, there's been a lot of news happening. But in terms of just a huge upset that for whatever reason everyone is just kind of letting flow under the radar, but it's like this is much bigger news than everyone is making it. And honestly, it confuses me because most major game outlets are just kind of being like, but to me, now this might be a conspiracy thing, take it as you'd like, take it or leave it. But to me, I feel as if everyone is basically underselling this because Xbox had a hand in doing whatever it is that they're doing. Like purposefully, Microsoft is letting this go the way that it's going so that people will not see the writing on the walls, which is to expect the fact that Xbox is done. Like there's going to be no more Xbox. That has to happen. There is absolutely no reason that Phil Spencer, isn't that the CEO of Xbox, would do what he did, and essentially that there be like just a perfect throughway line for Xbox going forward. This is so goddamn crazy because it's all the markings of those weird ass company shutdowns and things like that, like right before they go bankrupt, right before they quit, jump ship and whatnot. Everything that's happening within the Xbox is doing that bar for bar. Like it's in the same realm of people before they have they file for bankruptcy in major corporations and shit like that. So if you're not in the know, Phil Spencer, the CEO of Xbox, is stepping down. Yes, he's stepping down. He's stepping down, and you would assume he's going to be replaced by the president of Xbox, which was this black chick that's been around since they've did E3. So, yeah. And honestly, everyone expected it. Like, there'd be no problem if he was stepping down and she was taking over, because it damn near looked like she was being groomed for the position, because she became the face of Xbox for a lot of their expos and a lot of their like little showcases and stuff like that. Hell, she was up there back when they announced her name. She had a she/her thing, and then the very next year they got rid of it because all the gay shit wasn't selling. So again, it was primed and ready for her to take over, and that was fine. Everyone was okay with that. But this bitch left. She left Xbox. Now, it was odd that she joined the board of directors for Tyson's Chicken. That is true. Look it up. But she left Xbox, and then she updated her LinkedIn account. Also weird. Like, I figure when you're that big at a certain point, what the fuck are you using LinkedIn for? Like honestly, I don't understand these business people's mindset. But then again, Xbox was a failing company anyway, so far be it from me. But still, she left. So then they got a brand new person to take over as CEO of Xbox. Now, this isn't a lower tier person that was underneath her that's still been working with Xbox. No, they grabbed this bitch that's been working in Microsoft's AI department. Nigga, what the fuck? Again, this should be major news, especially within the nerd sphere, because this is some major shit. Xbox is dead. It is dead. This is what happens when you pull the plug on a company. Hell, all of the girl's remarks since she got named as CEO is that we're not going to use AI. Trust me, AIs are going to take over. When you know for a fact, of course it is. That's all you know. What the fuck? She hasn't worked on anything in regards to Xbox. She hasn't worked on anything in regards to gaming. So what the fuck? Like, when you're that big on a corporate level, then you understand that it's like, if you don't know nothing, then you won't know anything. And it's not as if, it's like, oh, you have time to learn. You're the CEO. There is no learning for you. You're the CEO of a gaming company that has been making shitty games for the past decade. Nigga. And every time a successful game was made, they either undersold it, they didn't promote it, or they shut down the fucking studio when they made it. And then everyone was like, why would you shut down the studio? And it was like, whatever. Oh my goodness. And you got to remember, this is coming after the fact that they spent billions to buy a Bethesda, and Activision Blizzard. And then immediately after they purchased these companies, for the billions that they spent on their ass, they've been releasing slop after slop, and this shit has not been making them money. They've been hemorrhaging money. For as much money as Blizzard's able to pump out with a lot of the goofy shit that they're able to make, it's not enough to cover that expense that Xbox had for purchasing it. And honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, you spent top dollar for a company that was not worth top dollar. You got scammed, and you just, it's such a goofy and funny thing to see happen. But it's like, PlayStation keeps doing the same fucking thing. And the irony about this is that, what was it, when Phil Spencer talked about the fact when he did that press conference at one time, not press conference, that podcast video, something like that. And then he was like, I'm hearing the arguments that if you just make good games then the money will flow, but it's not that easy. And it's like, yes, it is. It's all that it ever is. You're literally in charge of entertainment. Make good entertainment and we have no problems. But you're buying these companies that have already rested on their laurels. Now you done gave them enough money to where the top people just ain't got to give a fuck anymore because they're not the ones holding the bag. You are. And they're releasing and giving you shit. And because you don't know any better, you thinking if we just release it, it'll be fine. We can fix it later. And that's the issue with DLC shit. But still, now all of this shit is happening. And it's like, well, what are you going to do? You going to fix it? And it's like, nah, I'm leaving. Oh my God. And it's like, okay, yeah. So then there's no hope. There is no hope for Xbox. Now, you'd be wondering, Daniel, why would you care? You've never purchased an Xbox. You don't give a fuck about Xbox games. You have nothing to do with Xbox. You are PlayStation and Steam. Well, the problem is that with Xbox gone, that leaves a huge fucking hole that PlayStation is not smart enough to fill. And that is the problem, because what we're having happen is that Steam is going to completely dominate the video game sphere, which is not a bad thing if you're comfortable with PC or, if you're going to get the little Steam box or whatever, whatever they're going to call it. But the thing is that I like PlayStation. I like having a console. I like that. But I genuinely believe that friendly competition is necessary, especially when it comes to video games. Now, as of late, we've had the beauty of indie games essentially dominating the core concept of games that you can buy and play that are worth the damn because of the fact that they're actually enjoyable, or they're well made, or they're okay. Hell, again, on my chopping block is Crimson Desert. I want to get that as soon as I purchase, a 5 or something. But I haven't done it yet because Crimson Desert isn't out, and so there's no point. They keep delaying GTA 6, so why give a fuck? But anyway, the fact remains is that and then you're taking it to the high guard, and essentially the fact is like a lot of indie shit is going to actually be funded and published by big time studios, thus denying them being indie. I understand that, but that's a conversation for another day. But right now, you have the competitive aspect of what to do with games coming from the indie sphere. And the problem with that is that the majority of the indie sphere always appears on Steam. So with these motherfuckers buying and shelling out so much fucking money to buy these big name studios that ain't producing shit, you now have the issue of that no one gives a fuck. if Insomniac makes another Spider-Man game, it's going to sell. But again, the records of Spider-Man 2 compared to Spider-Man 1 are less. They're not as good as what it is that they projected. And the problem is that that's a problem. And same thing with Neil Druckmann making another fucking Last of Us, because he's going to. Hell, the new game that they announced, the Intergalactic, no one's going to buy that. People are going to be upset when they buy that, if they happen to buy that, because they know exactly what the writing on the wall is. But Neil Druckmann ain't got to actually try to make a good game, because who owns Naughty Dog? Not him. So he don't give a fuck. So now it's like, yeah, Bethesda and all that shit were under Xbox. They're not going to do anything but essentially make it to where those companies that they have under Microsoft will just slowly but surely continue to and keep making games, but they're not going to be owned individually by Xbox. Like, or Xbox will still be alive as a name in order to just keep those companies alive so they can keep making games and releasing them. When ultimately they're probably going to try to do whatever they can to showcase or shell out that, hey, PlayStation or anybody, we're selling these. You want to buy them? And in which case, don't do it. I swear to God, I can see PlayStation thinking, oh, Blizzard, and it's like, no, you fucking moron, don't do it. Don't do it. It's like, don't buy them. Don't buy them. Hell, at this point, Xbox games are now being put on PlayStation. Now, how much further proof do you need that this company is about to fucking commit seppuku? This is over with, nigga. This is not good. This is not okay. Now, again, I'm referencing this in the fact to where it's like, yeah, the hole that's going to be left by Xbox is going to have PlayStation think that they can fill it. But PlayStation has not been on the right path in order to accomplish that. They have been slowly but surely constantly showcasing that their single player games have been making them and garnering them the most money. But they keep focused on live service shit for whatever reason. and at the same token, you have this inability to understand exactly what it is that gamers want, and then now you have a majority of people essentially, if indie studio is capable of releasing on PlayStation and actually doing well, but ultimately all of that stuff just will appear and be on Steam, and these things are blowing them out of the water when it comes to just fucking purchases and whatnot. So you have an issue if Xbox goes away, but it's not as if, oh, Xbox going away, you know, isn't just a like yay thing. You know, I don't care if Xbox goes away, but I do care in what's going to happen because Xbox goes away. I wouldn't want gaming to only be a Steam thing, you know. But again, it determines on what happens with the console that Steam creates and how that actually plays. But I still have my misgivings about this. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want you to go away because you've been here for so long. I don't want you gone. I want you to be better. That's all. It's like, I don't mind the friendly competition that Xbox gave PlayStation. There were a lot of Xbox games, especially when it first came out, that I was like, man, I would get an Xbox for it. I couldn't afford it when I was younger, but still, it was like, yeah, I wouldn't mind getting an Xbox in order to play that. And that was good. That was a good thing. That's what you needed within video games. Now it's like, nah, I'm good. Hell, Game Pass is still a good deal. That's a good deal as far as video games are concerned for a console. But in the grand scheme of everything, considering what's happened with Xbox, shit, you paying that monthly subscription service for these games, and then essentially that goes away. Well, you no longer own those. Well, you don't own those games in the first place. You're renting them. You're just renting a being able to use this giant fucking catalog. But essentially, it's just so much of craziness going on. And to go back to the conspiracy theory thing, I think that Microsoft is trying to undersell exactly how big of an impact and how big of a deal this actually is, so that they can just quietly get rid of Xbox's assets so they can just dissolve it. Now, I could see them just keeping Xbox around again as just a brand, as a name, because you do have things related to it and associated with it, so people still condone it on that aspect. But realistically, there's no real profit in trying to keep up or do anything within gaming right now because Xbox keeps making shit. So You spent billions of dollars on these companies that are not producing games that are up to par with what the companies cost, you know. And it's like, fuck, Bethesda has had major letdowns since their acquisition, and yet, you know, it's like they're still around. It's like they're still using an old engine, even though their fans keep telling them fucking either upgrade the shit or do better. Hire these modders that keep taking your games and making them 1,000 times better. Why are you releasing Skyrim again, nigga? And they are doing that, by the way. But it's just one of those things where it's like, man, you could have. This was completely avoidable. This was so avoidable. But the writing is on the walls. You are dying. You are out of there. This is a bad thing for your company. But all in all, for gaming, this is also not going to be a positive. But again, you know, I can't see the future. Who knows? You know, someone might pull a rabbit out of their ass. The fucking Gabe Cube might just, you know, be the ipso facto grand meister thing that we all needed. Fucking finally resorting to getting Nintendo to lower their prices or do better with their games, because can you honestly say that Nintendo's catalog of games can compete with what you would get if you was to just be able to access your entire Steam library from the comfort of your home, not on a computer? Nigga. Hell, especially when you can use an emulator to play to play Nintendo shit. Man. This is crazy. To me, when I found out about this news, I was shook for a little bit, because I was like, the ramifications of this are man, I can't wait to see it. This is an avalanche of shit that's gonna happen. But, you know, here's to the future. Oh boy.